Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
Welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, oh man, we had ourselves one hell of a Raw after SummerSlam, a very memorable one. Felt like a bit of a season premiere, if you will. Felt like a proper Raw after Mania, minus call-ups. Although, I guess in one situation, a guy has been waiting to call up for a long time.
Yeah.
Odyssey Jones finally made his way to Raw. It was a packed episode. We've got a new number one contender to Gunther's World Heavyweight Championship. We know what that match is going to be at Bash at Berlin. But the A story of the Judgment Day continues. Some questions answered there. They will be using the name Judgment Day. They are the Judgment Day.
They are the Judgment Day, whereas Damian and Rhea out of the group. So we had a couple of really good segments with Judgment Day. Early on in the show, Damian Priest rushes to the ring and demands Finn come meet him in the ring to get these hands. Finn doesn't. He shows up on the Tron and explains why he turned. Said, I didn't turn my back on Judgment Day. You did. You thought you were leadership material once you won that title. We're supposed to be no leaders at Judgment Day. We're supposed to be on equal footing. And he said, I didn't cost you the title. You cost me the title back at SummerSlam last year. Of course, there was all that times last summer where Finn was feuding with Seth Rollins. And that damn albatross of that Money in the Bank briefcase. And Priest was like, oh, am I going to cash in? Am I going to cash in? And everybody has ended up looking hapless in the whole situation.
Yeah.
It always led to Finn losing.
Well, I mean, just from a broad perspective, this is the great part about this situation is that really Rhea and Priest absolutely like what Finn is saying, what Dom has said, what JD said. All of it was true.
Yep.
All of it was true.
Everybody in their minds is completely and totally justified.
Right.
In their actions. Yeah.
Right. And when you look back on the sequence of events, you understand absolutely why. Regardless of who the crowd loves and what the crowd wants, Priest said the words, they need me more than I need them. What kind of shit is that? And Rhea Ripley, her entire relationship with Dom has been one massive emasculation of the poor guy. So, you understand the premise is sound from the bad guys, and therein lies the good stuff. That's where the good stuff is. I cannot get over, number one, were they still in Cleveland last night? I missed exactly where they were.
No, they were in Baltimore.
Oh, that's right. They're in Baltimore. That's right. What an electric crowd.
It's a great crowd.
That pop for Rhea Ripley.
That whole segment was fantastic. Priest and JD had an awesome match. They were beating the hell out of each other.
Yeah.
And JD is a hell of a seller.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, that punctuating South of Heaven when Rhea Ripley headbutted him and sent him into Priest. No, I thought we were going to get a riptide, but she sent him into Priest. Bro, that guy leapt like 8 feet.
Yeah, he just let his body fall. Like he just, however he hit the mat, because he wanted that choke slam to look absolutely devastating.
That pop for Rhea was nuts. Absolutely.
It's not
insane.
just, Rhea got a huge pop, but I was happy to see that given all that had happened with Damian Priest over the last few days, that the crowd has embraced him too. That was, you'd think the end goal of all this is to get him over as a babyface, and at least week one, mission accomplished.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that moment after they dispatch of new Judgment Day, bad Judgment Day, and they're standing in the ring, standing tall, the crowd was eating that up.
Well, the moment that was just absolutely, it was like crack, was when Rhea headbutts JD, sends him into Priest, and before he hits South of Heaven, him and Rhea gas each other up. She says, drop this fucker. Yeah. And he's like, should I do it? She's like, drop this. And he just absolutely kills him. And that chemistry right there, that bond, that friendship, Michael Cole referred to him on air as the Terror Twins.
Yep.
is something that just fuels that crowd. And they were ready for it. Baltimore had a killer crowd last night. They were ready to pop for good stuff, and they were given like nothing but good stuff. I thought it was an awesome episode, and there's so much to talk about on that for that episode last night.
Well, let's continue with the Judgment Day stuff real quick, because Finn basically fed JD to Priest last night. And he says, "You're not going to get your hands on me until it's my moment to strike. I want you to basically forget about me," which doesn't seem really possible, but nonetheless. So what matches we can get between now and the inevitable clash between Priest and Finn? You got to think there's got to be a mixed tag match at some point. And whether that's Priest and Rhea against Liv and Dom,
that's the big one, right? That's got to be the big one. Yeah, I mean, look, there's a variety. There's a couple that you can think of. You know, there's three huge ones that you could think of. First up, obviously, Priest versus Finn. That's massive. Liv versus Rhea, 2, I guess it would be. And then the mixed tag with Dom and Liv and Rhea and Damian. And I don't know if this is going to be the next, because we've got Bash in Berlin, we've got Bad Blood, and then after that would probably be Survivor Series, I think, because there's
the Saudi show,
huh?
Beginning of November, then Survivor Series, and I don't think there's another show till 2025 after Survivor Series. I don't think.
And so you got all that going on. So that club, that basically, we're in the summer, that closes out the year, and you got to ask yourself, in the meantime, who else is going to get roped into this? Is Rhea going to basically be Liv Morgan's singular opponent for the rest of the year? Or are they going to somehow weave in new contenders for the World Heavyweight Championship? I mean, there's a lot they can do here. I mean, the women's division in general is kind of wrapped up in a lot of trios action right now. We saw last night.
There's a lot of factions going on in the Raw Women's division right now. Yeah,
you got the DeVille group and Damage Control. They're in a thing right now.
And you got Lyra and Katana and Caden as well. Yeah,
right. Them as well. Over on the other brand, you got kind of a similar situation. And so I don't exactly know how this is all going to sort out. Are they simply going to do maybe like a number one contendership match? Where, I don't know, Rhea will get screwed out of it somehow, and then, because you got to mix things up a little bit, but there is totally enough stuff here to last a very long time. I would not be shocked. Given that last year at SummerSlam we had Finn versus Rollins, and Priest, accidentally screwed over Finn Balor. This year Finn screws Priest. Are they looking towards next SummerSlam? Because it kind of feels like, as you and I talked about on both of our episodes about the booking of Triple H, the countouts that we did, he's all about these big sagas. He's about these big stories that last and last and last. So it's like, it's not a matter of what happens next month. It's a matter of what happens 3 months from now, 6 months from now. Where are these matches likely to take place? Are they going to do one of these big 3 matches that we just talked about? Are they going to do that at something like Bad Blood, which thematically seemingly might be the case? I saw a thing today where they're looking at Drew versus CM Punk at Hell in a Cell for Bad Blood as the main event. There's a lot that they can mine here, and a lot of twists and turns that can still come our way for Judgment Day.
Yeah, there are, but there's also a lot of, especially matches. You would think the marquee matches are more likely to take place at Mania, for example, assuming Liv walks into WrestleMania still Women's World Champion. Rhea Ripley makes a lot of sense for her opponent.
1,000%, absolutely. So I mean, in my mind, that means Rhea's going to win the Rumble, probably.
There's a good chance. Even Finn and Priest. If the story is told well, that's a WrestleMania match right there for both.
Let me ask you this really quick.
Yeah.
And try your damnedest to take your love of the ring general Gunther out of this.
As always, I will be objective.
As always. WrestleMania 41. Any chance that World Heavyweight Championship turns into a thing between Finn and Damian.
I suppose it's possible. It's possible.
I don't think it's likely.
I don't think it's likely. It's possible. But there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people in contention for that World Heavyweight Championship, and I don't know if Gunther's going to have another 2-year reign with this championship like he has basically with the last 2 he's held in WWE. But I can't imagine he's going to hold it for just a matter of 8 months. It's going to be longer than that.
Oh, I don't know. I think 8 months would probably be 8 months. 8 months. Only 8 months. That's a long time.
This is Gunther, pal.
No, I know, but it's also there's, like you said, there's a ton of contenders.
A lot of people for Gunther to beat.
In his favor, in Gunther's favor, there are Triple H has found a way to book these stories that do not need titles.
Exactly.
We see Drew and CM Punk, and for whatever bizarre reason, I've seen even in our comments, why are they so obsessed with a bracelet? It's like, oh my god, it's not the bracelet's not just a bracelet. That's the one thing that sort of bothers me when I look at comments or criticisms in the IWC. It's like a bracelet's not just a bracelet. Back when they were doing the Ciampa Gargano stuff, a crutch is not just a crutch. A knee brace is
just not a knee brace. Yes.
Right. Exactly. So I mean that's the great thing about this is that you need feuds. You've built up so many stars, and you can't do 20 titles. Nor should you, because then none of them really matter. So he's setting up all these feuds that don't need the world title. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they eventually wrap the world title into some of these larger feuds.
Got some interesting news here. Apparently, WWE announced that the first 2 NXT shows on the CW will be arena shows.
Oh, wow.
So the premiere on August 1st will take place from Chicago's Allstate Arena.
Chicago.
CM Punk will be there. October 8th, Enterprise Center in St. Louis. Randall Keith Orton will
Randy
be there.
Orton.
Now,
Yeah, he tweeted out today that he's interested in that.
Now, I don't know if that's going to be a continuing thing or is that just, hey, huge launch, pay attention, back to the PC we go. But if you establish a size and atmosphere for your venues, for your television audience, and then you go back to, small warehouse with performance center, it's going to seem like a massive step. It is a massive step down.
Let me ask you this as a form of, I guess, compromise for the viewers out there watching NXT, see the first 2 episodes, these awesome arenas. Hey, we're heading back to the PC for 5 episodes before we bring you another WCW named special event, and they'll have more episodes. Whenever they do their Great American Bash nights 1 and 2 on the CW, those will be also from arenas, as will the premium live events.
So long as the thing where if they do rotating road trips, yeah. You're at the PC for a month and a half. You do 3-4 weeks on the road, alternate. And so long as that's the established pattern, I think people will be cool with it. Or if you want to tour and maybe the large arenas aren't practical, do the college arenas.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 3,000-4,000 seat places, and remember the first time I went to a Raw was at the UC Davis Event Center, right on campus at UC Davis. And
what year was that?
It was early '98.
Oh, early.
Right after.
Okay,
that was right
so
after
they were
Rumble.
hot right now. Okay, they were
yeah,
hot.
that was right after Rumble '98 because Shawn Michaels wasn't on the show. He'd hurt his back already.
Okay.
So you want an exciting atmosphere. Hit up college arenas in cities that are traditionally really good wrestling audiences.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I agree 1,000%. I would love for them to go on tour, on like a regular tour. I think that'd be great. And the product's hot right now. If you find a really clever way to load it up, you're not going to have Orton there every week or Punk there every week.
No.
But if you find a way, they've got so many good names right now. If you find a way to manage, a couple of main roster draws over there, boost up the stats a little bit, boost up that attendance. If you're worried about your main players not, being able to pull a packed house, even a packed 3,000 seat venue, load it up with a couple main roster guys. Maybe that'll make the difference. I don't know.
It might help.
you know. But yeah, that's interesting stuff. But yeah, getting back to Raw, we have our opponent, given that you love to talk about the ring general. Gunther at Bash at Berlin. Neither Ilya Dragunov nor, as W.S. Fletcher, our good friendo, mentioned, Jey Uso. In fact, Randy Orton makes all the goddamn sense in the world because of how they laid it out, dude.
Yeah, it does. So if you remember at King and Queen of the Ring, Gunther defeated Randy Orton in the finals of the King Ring Tournament roll up, but one of Randy's shoulders weren't down. It was addressed at the post-show press conference. Triple H, pretty much said, we'll have to revisit it at some point. Orton says, we're going to revisit it at Bash in Berlin. And Gunther says, yeah, not beating you clean is kind of a stain on my record. Mm-hmm. I want this match because I want to undo that. I want to show people that there should not be an asterisk by that win. And it was very, they shook hands at the end of it. And then Gunther pulls him in and says, I this time I'm going to be ready for anything, essentially. And Randy says, good, I want you to see it coming.
Mm-hmm. Is Gunther going to kick out of an RKO, Larson?
Sure, why not? But here's the thing: we're not going to get any sort of roll-up deal with Gunther winning. It's going to be two power bombs. It's going to be the sleeper. It's going to be, I don't know, one of the 6 moves that Gunther could decide to beat somebody with.
I think I'll probably be the sleeper. He seems to like the sleeper lately. I think
that's his thing lately. Yeah.
Randy Orton. I think he's fine. I think he's fine going to sleep.
Oh,
he won't tap out. He's not going to tap out.
No, he won't tap out.
He'll take a nap. He'll take a nap.
Remember in the build-up and early on in the King of the Ring tournament, Gunther was working people's legs and won matches with like a single leg crab. He's won matches with the splash off the top, the power bomb, clothesline, sleepers. He had the Emerald Flosion for a finisher for a minute that he doesn't use anymore. Am I missing something? I said sleeper. The single leg crabs. So that's 6 different moves, I think.
Yeah.
That he has used to win matches.
Didn't he win one with a chop once?
Probably.
I swear to God, he chopped a dude so bad and then he pinned him.
That's entirely. I mean, it's a good first title defense for Gunther.
Oh, it's terrific. Absolutely.
It's got a lot of huge name value for a premium live event. Randy Orton, the main event, because this match will be the main event at Bash at Berlin.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And I'm sure maybe Ilya will challenge Braun for that Intercontinental title on the card. I'm sure Ilya will be on the card.
That's what I gathered too. Him talking to Sammy last night. I don't like his chances of beating Braun Breaker just because they're from, they've got history there. He's not from there, but he's got history there.
Yeah, he wrestled a ton there.
Doesn't mean he's got to. Well, yeah, I was saying doesn't mean he's got to win the match.
Not necessarily, but hey, what's Braun's story? Wins and learns.
He already beat Ilya multiple times.
Maybe Ilya's story is wins and learns too, buddy.
Learn how to look at them lights for 3 seconds after a spear.
He seems pretty well versed. He seems pretty well versed in that against Braun. Yeah.
After 6 minutes.
Oh man, oof.
Oof is right. Anyways, before we get down to the breakdown, because I want to talk about this Wyatt Sicks stuff, man.
Yeah.
Before we talk about that, let's go ahead and pay some bills.
Let's do it. This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp. Steve, I'm happy you're finally coming around to the old workout saying, never skip leg day, and I hope it continues. Similarly, you also shouldn't skip out on taking care of yourself and establishing your self-care non-negotiables. And while I make it a priority these days to get my leg workouts in, I haven't always been as diligent about taking time to prioritize what makes me happy.
That's right, man. I think I can speak for both of us when I say that we're incredibly busy, man. Every week our schedules are usually packed with work stuff, family stuff. That's not even including school, which hasn't even started yet. Last night we hung out for an hour watching our kids practice soccer. We're a couple of suburban dads and soccer dads. When your schedule is so packed, it's easy to let your priorities slip.
That's true, but when you feel like you have so little time for yourself, it makes things like therapy all the more important. Back in my mid-20s when I was dealing with severe anxiety, I started going to therapy, and it helped me get my life back on track and allowed me to learn the skills I needed to better cope with my anxiety and help me establish my self-care non-negotiables.
And if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. BetterHelp is completely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. All you got to do to get started is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and then you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
So never skip therapy day with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
By the way, towards the end of this, after the Raw review, can you put it in the notes? Because otherwise we'll forget.
Yeah, we don't want to forget this. This is very important. Very important.
We got our first, well, not our first. We've done this before. But very important, cash in live on air. So if you guys recall, during the live stream for SummerSlam, Joey Bishop, wasn't he one of the Rat Pack?
He was.
Joey Bishop, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no longer part of the Rat Pack. He's currently our Big Blue Predictions champion, but he could end up with an incredibly short reign because right here, Jerry in the Bank has decided to cash in his Money in the Bank contract. So right now he's 5 points down.
Yes.
There is a single 5-point value in here. However, even if he hits on that 5, he doesn't have the tiebreaker against Joey Bishop. However, Larson and I made an executive decision based off of the history of Money in the Bank here, that there is a guaranteed win slip in here as well.
Yes.
So he has you say it's a 1 in 20 chance?
1 in 20 chance, I believe. Yeah, 1 in 20 chance of getting this.
I've texted him and told him the situation. So if he decides to not cash in, he'll let us know, in which case we'll put it off as long as he wants to.
Exactly. He has a whole year.
He has an entire year.
And that's a lot of pay-per-views.
Yeah. That is a lot of pay-per-views. So hopefully he'll get back to us. I'm gonna do the thing right now here. Are you sure?
You're gonna be like Mike Chiodo and Carmella try to cash it. Are you sure?
You have an entire year.
Are you sure you want to do this?
And the slip is in there, in the guaranteed. Okay, so
all right.
The Wyatt Sicks made their in-ring debut. The team of and they took on American Made, Chad Gable and the Creeds. What do you think of the name?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What's your issue with it?
I don't know. It's just
what's your thoughts about it?
I thought Alpha would be in it because that's Chad Gable's thing.
Yeah.
It's Alpha Academy, American Alpha.
Made Academy. But it's MAID. I graduated.
All right.
I graduated from the Made Academy.
Do they have vocational gimmicks then?
Maybe. I don't know. So yeah, versus American Made. And I'm so glad the Wyatts got the win here. Yeah, Joe Gacy, Eric Rowan, and Dexter Loomis. Loomis ended up getting the pin, but it was like everybody contributing here on this win. And they came out to Shatter, which I really liked. Man, I kind of got emotional towards the finish of this thing just because you try to think about what this means for specifically Eric Rowan and Bo Dallas.
Yeah.
And it's like, goddamn, that is so lovely. That is so nice. That is so awesome that they booked him in this manner as a real threat. I thought they all looked like $1 million. They looked like the coolest faction. The only thing I'd get rid of is the Uncle Howdy mask. I get it. I understand.
You know, it's the one thing about them. It's going to be interesting once Bo starts wrestling. If, like, all the other members so far, loses the mask once the bell rings,
Boy, I hope so.
Or is he going to be the one that's going to keep the mask on during matches? Because I like how they're approaching this, This isn't some supernatural thing.
Right.
And they have the mask for video packages. They'll have the mask for, although they haven't recently, sit-down interviews they didn't, but they'll have the masks for basically everything in arena except the matches, which is good.
Yeah.
And I like that they've really embraced who everybody is. In the past, because they'll show up someone that's been with the company for years, they'll do a repackage, and I guess it was Vince's thing that they were a completely new person who's never been there before.
Right.
You know, he's like, "Oh my gosh, who is this?" Well, clearly it's just using his name as example. It's Dexter Lumis in the company for years. We know who this person is.
Interesting that they're not, and I half get it, but I'm curious to see how they're going to proceed with it. But the one person that seemingly, even though she's been seen on like the cameras, they have not referred to Nikki Cross's name.
They did last night. Commentary did.
Oh, they actually did last night.
Yep.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I just noticed
Michael Cole said Abby the Witch, Nikki Cross.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, Michael
all right.
Cole.
I just noticed at the end he didn't. He just said Abby the Witch. Okay, cool. That's good. That's interesting. Yeah. I was hoping that we'd get a little bit more with Joe Gacy and his little video. They sort of took the similar approach to Dexter Lumis, but with Lumis, it kind of made sense because his gimmick was he didn't talk.
Yeah.
Like he said, like one thing at his wedding, he said, "I do" at the wedding.
Yeah.
But beyond that, like his thing is he didn't talk. With Gacy, he's a pretty creepy promo. He's a pretty decent promo.
He's a good talker. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. I like that they referenced, even if it was a bit obliquely, his time, you know, starting his own cult in NXT, the Tree People, whatever it was called. Schism. That's right, Schism.
4 roots, 1 tree, Steve.
Yeah, man. Soon it was all just an identity theft grift.
I know. The grifters.
They should really. I'm telling you, man. If they do another one of the little videos with Joe Gacy, I made myself a cult.
You should do this. Have you seen my wallet?
But they stole my wallet. Oh boy, that goes back a long ways.
That does.
But no, I thought it was terrific. I thought the way that they moved, the way that they, you know, had symmetry, even in their when they took out the creeds on the outside, I thought that was good.
Yeah.
I thought it was, and the crowd was super into it also. So, I mean, I don't know. This is obviously going to end up with like a Bo Dallas versus Chad Gable thing. And who knows after that. You'd think Chad Gable just re-signed and he can't take too many losses, but I've got faith that they're going to have like a proper story for him. So.
You know, I think that's the thing is if losses aren't as consequential in the eyes of the viewers if the story is interesting. Look at Drew McIntyre. He lost a ton.
I know. Yeah.
A ton.
Yeah.
Is he any less over? No, because he's involved in interesting stories the whole time.
And you can't tell me that's not going to put something in the minds of some of these people when they're on the fence about re-signing.
Absolutely.
It's like, even if you look at Odyssey Jones, who we'll talk about him in a second here. This dude was on the shelf for like 2 years through 2 drafts. And you can't tell me that you're not going to have more and more faith. It's like, hey, look at Drew McIntyre. This guy bought in. He lost a shit ton. But look at him last night, you know, and on top of that, Bad Blood, if they do a main event, a titleless main event with a Hell in a Cell match, if that's the plan between Drew and Punk.
I mean, I'm not sure Hell in a Cell match is a great idea, but nonetheless.
They ain't got to climb shit, man. You know, Hell in a Cell, it just, this is the good thing about keeping it out of like.
Oh, the name of the pay-per-view. Yeah.
The name of the pay-per-view. Because when you eventually say it, it just said, what's the last time they did a Hell in a Cell? Was it at Hell in a Cell pay-per-view?
Wasn't there a Hell in a Cell last year?
Was there a Hell in a Cell last year? I don't know.
I'll check.
But yeah, that's you don't have to climb anything. You can go up a couple steps up for the wall and then climb back down or something.
They haven't had a Hell in a Cell themed pay-per-view since 2022.
Okay, all right. Cosmic King says Edge and Finn at WrestleMania 39. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Cosmic King. Yeah, that was bad, but you know. Now when you say that, it makes me think of Edge jumping off the AEW cage
and breaking his ankle. Yeah.
God. Oh.
Here, let's talk about. You mentioned Odyssey Jones. There was a couple instances last night of in the case of Odyssey, hadn't been on TV on Raw yet. In the case of Bronson Reed, just kind of meandering about for a good while, and basically with one short segment of the show, instantly build them up. With Odyssey Jones is coming out to make the save for the New Day and hitting side slams on both members of AOP at the same time.
That was cool.
That was crazy.
So cool.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And with Bronson Reed, he comes out and attacks Seth Rollins and hits him with 6 tsunamis back to back to back to back to back. And with over the course of 6 tsunamis, you get Bronson Reed basically no reaction. The people chanting one more time.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Sometimes it's as simple as have people do cool shit and they will get over.
Sometimes they overthink these things and do the only thing you need. You know, sometimes I say it takes one match sometimes to make a person. It takes one story, one good feud to make somebody, to turn them from dirt to a king. Well, with Bronson Reed, it took 6 tsunamis to go from I'm snoozing my way during this Bronson Reed stuff to, oh shit, that's good. That's really good stuff. And they kind of went to the same well they did with Braun Breaker. Hey, Adam Pearce, I'm tired of being disrespected around here, so I'm going to go do something cool. Yeah. And he did something cool, just like Braun Breaker did cool shit. Look at him now. I don't know necessarily what like the ceiling is for Bronson Reed, but you know the dude can perform.
He's a good wrestler. He's a good talker. He's got presence. It's seemingly always been from a creative standpoint. Who's his character and what kind of stories is he in?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And if they could figure all that out, you know, is he going to be a world champion WWE? I don't know. For sure, he can be a mid-card champ. Yeah. For sure. He's got a ton of talent, and it's just kind of, you know, I guess, you know, we in the countouts we said Triple H, he really emphasizes the long form saga stories, and sometimes that means other stories kind of get pushed to the side, or other characters don't get the attention that they need. Yeah. And last night on Raw, we saw a real attempt to give characters, especially in the case of Odyssey Jones, who hadn't even been on the show yet, the attention they need to start developing them and getting them worked into stories and telling stories with them. Yeah. You know, so it's great that we have these awesome long-form sagas that kind of will carry Raw and SmackDown respectively. But some of that creative energy has to trickle down to everybody else. You can't just have people feuding to be, we're the most dominant force on this brand, or I want that title because I want to be champion. Give us something more, you know? Yeah. Have this be a story of people in conflict for some reasons that involve their personalities, rather than just, I want to hold this title, or we want to win more matches than you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Specifically talking about Odyssey Jones, like you said, he took out the Authors of Pain, literally, like, you know, just both at the same time. Crowd went crazy for it because it was a really cool moment. He did something really, really cool. He's been on the shelf for ages. But I really love that this wasn't a big love fest between the New Day and Odyssey Jones. If Xavier Woods was like, because Xavier Woods is on this thing where he's like, I need to take out Cross. I have to do this. And then Kofi brings this other dude and seemingly doesn't tell Xavier Woods that this is going to happen. Yep. And then backstage, we get the explanation. Hey, when I was rehabbing my shoulder, this dude and I, you know, struck up a friendship, and now he's here to help us out. So I know a lot of people saying, is this going to be some sort of new version of the New Day where he sort of fills in where Big E was? What would you think about that? What's the right approach to take with this? And do you see it happening given the apprehension of Xavier Woods right now?
You know, when Odyssey came to the ring, he was wearing a New Day shirt. And, you know, so it's easy to get the thought in your head that, oh, he's their new third, or potentially their new third man. Those are massive shoes to fill when it comes to coming in after, you know, we don't know if or when Big E will ever return. We don't know. It seems more to me that they're introducing Odyssey to flesh out this story with the New Day, which is good because it's finally given them a story. You know, for years they would get one of the loudest receptions of the night, the New Day would, and now they come out and it's just kind of like, all right, yay, New Day. Yeah, it's very muted from how it used to be.
They've been in this forever feud with Cross. That's one of the reasons why.
That's one of the reasons why, because Final Testament just gets no reaction. And so if introducing Odyssey Jones into the dynamic between Kofi and Xavier Woods creates some tension where for years there hasn't been any,
Mm-hmm.
and they can tell an interesting story, and in the process establish Odyssey on the main roster as a character. That's more the purpose, and in my mind, as of now, I think, um, as opposed to, hey, Odyssey Jones is joining the New Day. Maybe down the line that'll happen. I don't know, but it seems like now, hey, we need to introduce some tension, like some tangible tension, not just like what the mind games that Karrion Kross has been trying to play. Some real tension between Kofi and Xavier Woods, and really explore that.
I've seen, so DJE here reflects the sentiment that I've seen. He says it's just a plot device to split Woods and Kofi and have it make sense. I disagree with that entirely. This is how I see it going down, because again, you understand what happens when you're patient. Oh, go ahead.
What's going to happen is Odyssey Jones is going to join Final Testament. Karrion Kross put Odyssey
Kross
Jones
is
up to
like,
this.
where have you been all my life? This guy's getting reactions. Here, how much do you want?
No, it's the thing where Kross is like, hey, go befriend Kofi Kingston, and then drive the wedge between Kofi and Xavier even further, and then just when they start to bring you in, you reveal that you've been working for me this whole time.
That'd be terrible. That'd be awful. No, this is what's going to happen. I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know the twists in the road, but within about 3 to 5 months, crowd is going to be begging for Odyssey Jones to become an official member of the New Day. I don't know how. I don't know if it's going to require Big E being back on TV, giving his blessing, which I'm sure
he kind of did on Twitter.
Yeah.
Put over Odyssey.
There's no way, you said it, there's no way you can fill Big E's shoes. That being said, there's no reason why you can't establish a new legacy with these three men that is built off of the goodwill of the old legacy. There's no reason you can't. They just effectively carried on the story, like wildly effectively, carried on the story of Bray Wyatt, who like legitimately passed away. Like they did that. And once he passed, I was thinking there's no way you can do that without it being classless and kind of tacky. Mm-hmm. And look at what they did. Mm-hmm. I have no doubt in my mind that we are going to be begging to see this, but you got to introduce that tension first. Yeah. Woods is us. You can't replace Big E. You can't. But with an effective story done in the right way, people will not only be open, they will want this to happen. That's my prediction for where this is going to head. Again, I don't know what the story beats are going to be.
Yeah.
But given the reaction we saw last night, given what a lot of people that have been close to Odyssey Jones in the Performance Center anyway, somebody mentioned a story of him lifting just an ungodly amount of weight.
It was X-Pac.
X-Pac and Cameron Grimes, Trevor Lee corroborated. Yeah, confirmed it.
That he had deadlifted 800 pounds, and then he could have done more if they told him to stop.
Yeah. And so I don't think that it's going to be he's replacing anybody, because you can't. But there's nothing to say that you can't allow the guy to be himself, to stand on his own 2 feet, and to be an ally to Woods and Kofi, and establish something new based on the legacy of something old. I think that's totally fine, and they can do it in a way that honors what the New Day was. Whether that's under the New Day's name, I don't know. It's sort of trivial, to be honest with you. But the guy deserves an opportunity to do something. And yeah, I think if you introduce it in a way that's compelling and dramatic and all that stuff, then
like a feud against Final Testament. Yeah.
They need to be done with that ASAP, man. They got to be done with that ASAP.
They do.
So, yeah.
They really do. Well, let's jump into it. We get a pretty extended SummerSlam recap to kick off the show, and then Ludwig Kaiser is in the ring.
Have you ever heard a so huge, so big,
just into the supercut of all the
yeah. So he introduces Gunther.
Yeah, he introduces
Gunther gets in there. He says, my name is Gunther. I am the ring general. Talks about his bona fides. He says a new legacy begins. And let's be honest, this title and the company deserves so much more for a long time. If you think what I did before was historic, watch and see what I do as World Heavyweight Champion in this ring.
2,000 days with that title. Give me 2,000 days with Gunther as champion.
Fair, and then we'll get like a 2,000-day commemorative World Heavyweight Championship title that's limited to 2,000. I'll be sure
Odds are better you can get that one, though, Steve, than the Roman one.
I'll be sure to buy that one. Anyways.
Buy two, right? Buy two.
You got to buy two and sell one to finance the other. Then you get it for free, maybe even a little bit more.
Maybe make some money.
He says, from this day forth, Raw and the legacy of this great sport and the World Heavyweight title belong to me. That brings out Randy Orton. He poses. Crowd just loudly chanting his theme song.
Oh yeah, everybody's singing
along.
Now. Yeah, they do Cody's and they do Randall Keith Orton's.
Yeah. So he says, Randy, I have to say I was wrong. That caught me off guard, with a smile on his face. Randy says, I wanted to congratulate you. That's not my style. That gold, though, looks mighty damn fine over your German shoulders. He's Austrian. He says, I can't help, but when I look at that title, I'm the only reason you're carrying that in the first place. And he talks about what happened at King of the Ring. He says, you know what? Ref's decision is final. I respect that. But Triple H knows there needs to be a sequel. He said he told the world there'd be a part 2, and that's why I'm here. I'm calling that in. And I love that they're doing this cross-brand thing, but with a damn good reason, with a very good reason.
Yeah.
So he says, I'm the only one in the back there that can match you in this ring. Chop for chop, counter for counter, smooth versus smoother. I think these fans deserve a modern-day Flair Steamboat. I know I can fill one of those. Do you? He says, you consider yourself a living legend. I made a career out of killing legends. And at Bash at Berlin, I'm going to walk out of Germany, new champ. And Gunther says, everything you said was true. And not beating you clean left a stain on my record. If your voices that tell you can beat me in Berlin, your voice is wrong. Randy Orton, he says, Randy Orton, I accept. And they shake hands and the microphones are down. So you just hear like the camera mic, which was a great thing because they talk close to each other. And Gunther, referencing the RKO, says, just so you know, nothing catches me out of nowhere. Randy says, don't worry. This time, I want you to see it coming. Yeah, I thought it was a very effective promo between these two. This is going to be a hell of a match.
It is. It is. Next, we're backstage. We got an interview with Sheamus, and he's got a match against Ludwig coming up. Sheamus says, Ludwig has returned to Raw. The human Kendall got medically cleared, and yet I had my sights set on Peter Dune. But what are you going to do? All of these young Thundercats want to crack at Sheamus so they can make a name for themselves. I say bring it on. Tonight I'm going to test Ludwig's tiny ribs and then put Pete on the shelf. Baltimore, are you ready for a banger? So he comes to the ring. Kaiser comes to the ring. They gave this match a ton of time. They beat the hell out of each other. Pete Dunne tried to interfere with the shillelagh. Sheamus fends him off with a knee and still got the win.
Yeah. No, this was a great win for Sheamus. Crowd went crazy too.
Yeah, knee, bro kick. Sheamus wins over Ludwig Kaiser.
Absolutely. So we've got some breaking news here, Larson.
What? Is this from Jerry?
Jerry in the bank said, I'm down to wait 1 Money in the Bank, 5 off here at SummerSlam. I can get closer.
I like that attitude.
No cash in today. Cash in.
No cash in.
Thought there was going to be a cash in. You're wrong.
You know what we really should have done? Is that we got breaking news, we got decision from Jerry, and then wait till after the Raw recap.
Oh, goodness. This
Come
is
on.
a new land.
People
People want it now. People want it now.
Oh, you got to build anticipation.
Well.
People sitting on the edge of their seats. Oh, we're getting a cash in. Oh, we got breaking news. What is it? You got to make
no cash. I'm not going to make people wait for a fart like that.
They don't know us a fart.
Yeah, but that's called bad will. You don't want that. You want goodwill.
No, it's good storytelling.
No, you got to send home people happy, man. Wow, yeah, Grill of Months, you got it right. Crowd boos.
Crowd boos?
Crowd
heat.
boos. Boo. Heat. No, we don't want heat. We want good heat.
No, why would the heat be on us? We didn't change our minds.
We got over 800 people watching here. We need thumbs ups. That's what we need. If you guys
thumbs up.
Everybody. Look, man. We need to start getting our ambitions up a little bit,
Steve,
man.
Can I please?
Sure. 1,000. 1,000.
We're not going to dance around it anymore, all right? This is the deal. Likes, comments, they drive engagement. Engagement drives going in Raw further in this whole algorithm of YouTube business. Therefore, if you want the channel and us to succeed, we need you to hit that like button and we need you to comment. All right? It's that simple.
Larson and I are incredibly petty, competitive people. You should see us out there on the basketball court. We're just like, we kick ball. Like if we miss a shot, we just drop kick balls.
Petulant children is what you're
saying. Pissed off with each other. And within 5 seconds of a game being done with, we're best friends again. We're incredibly petty. I hate that in the podcast wrestling realm, we're like number 3 when it comes to, out of the hundreds of them, we're like number 3 in the podcast realm.
Not good enough.
I don't want to be number 3. I want to be number 1. And we're going to start that road today.
But we need your help.
Yeah, we can't do it ourselves. We need you guys to help us out here.
We need you. I'll toss around bad ideas for lulz, but this is not a bad idea. This is a good idea. Hitting that like button. Commenting. It could be something as silly as, Steve, I like your Wrestle Juice shirt, which is it's a well-done shirt. It's great.
Thanks, man. It
doesn't have to be anything huge.
Hey, you know what I got you?
What?
I ordered it. It's on the way.
Did you get me the Roman title?
I got you a Friendo. That's low. No, I got you a Friendo U shirt.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Roman title. You know that burns. You know that hurts. Anyways. So yeah, we need to get those likes up. We need engagement. Leave comments. Leave multiple comments. Apparently YouTube likes comments.
Comments and likes. Engagement.
Tell people. Share stuff.
Yes, share stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just gonna be outward about it. Oh man, look at this. Jeffrey Nguyen, Hall of Famer here, gifted 5 memberships to the community. Click join, $5 a month. You get access to the bonus episodes, question threads, and of course the big predictions challenges we do here every single month. Hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. Let's try to get this one to 1,000.
1,000 what?
Likes.
Yeah, let's do 1,000. That sounds great.
Yeah. Anyways, and leave comments too. All right. So after that, we have a Wyatt Sicks VHS. It was 11 years ago. Bray Wyatt was unleashed.
Oh, because it was the same arena where the Wyatt family debuted.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of like a recap of like the Wyatt lore, if you will.
Right. Yeah. And so this was, did I miss? I think I might have. Was this like Bray talking here?
Yeah. No, it was Bo talking the whole time.
Oh, this was Bo. Okay.
Yeah.
It says life is a circle. The end of one journey is the beginning of the next. A circle moves us all through sorrow and hope, triumph and tragedy, life and loss until we let go. Abandon all hope. Find our place on the path unwinding. We're here. And then it says Baltimore tonight. And he says the reckoning is here. Run. How did I miss that? That's weird.
It was pretty brief. It was a lot of B-roll of Wyatt family stuff.
I remember seeing the very beginning of it where it says Baltimore 11 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, maybe Lacey came in and I don't know what happened. Anyways.
All right, very well. After that, we had Chad Gable and the Creeds. They arrive earlier. I like that whenever we have a Wyatt VHS, first thing over the last few weeks we see right after is Chad Gable.
Yeah.
Without fail.
Yeah.
And then Damian Priest rushes out. Like commentary's talking. Damian Priest rushes out. He gets to the ring. Says, Finn Balor! You know what time it is. Come down and take this beating like a man. How you go from being the prince to a backstabbing scumbag to a coward. You know where I'm from. You know my story. You know I've been on my own most of my life until I found Judgment Day. They made me feel like I belong. Last Friday at the premiere of my documentary, I heard what people had to say and what it meant to them. I see you. I hear you. I realize my family got a whole lot larger. Let me introduce you to my new family. So he panned, like camera pans around. He's singing to the crowd.
It's a good guy, you people.
It is. And it was really well done.
It was really well done. It was earned.
He says, do you think I'm upset just because I lost the title? No, I could win that back. I'm pissed because you took it away from all of us. You make me feel like I disappointed my family. And for someone like me, I can't let that stand. So Finn, listen closely. When you're suffering, No, I am the reason for your pain. Get your ass out here and let the beatings begin.
And then it shows
Fantastic.
Bad Judgment Day.
This was fantastic.
Yeah, this was great.
This is the exact thing Damian Priest needed after that loss.
Yeah, so Finn's on the Tron, and it's in a close-up. He says, Damian, big man, I want to know you brought this on yourself. I didn't betray you. You betrayed us. Remember what it was? We all have each other's back. No leaders in Judgment Day. But all that changed when you became champion. He says, a year ago, I almost became champion, and this happened. And they show the thing. He says, what did you say to console me? Man up. I waited and waited a full year and manned up. I screwed you. I screwed your family. Maybe you're just a loser from the streets. I'm not going to fight you. You know who will? Somebody who earned it. Somebody who deserved it. JD will. I'm going to wait until you feel safe and comfortable and almost forgot me. And then when your back is turned, I'm going to stab you in it again and again and again. And it won't just be me. And then the camera pans out and it shows Liv, Dom, JD, and Carlito. Why, Carlito? Why?
Carlito got a spot.
He got a spot.
Safety in numbers, man.
I guess so. You know, Rhea was always like, why is this guy here anyway? So if
yeah.
Carlito, it's
both Priest and Rhea didn't want him in Judgment Day. So why would he try to side with them?
That's a good point. So Priest heads out. We cut to, let's see here. Oh, we got backstage. Pierce is on his phone. Bronson Reed walks in. He says, I beat Sheamus last week, yet he has a match. Pierce is like, oh, it was set before. And Reed's like, there's always an excuse. He says, I see if I want to get to the top, I need to create my own path.
Oh, that he did.
Out. Yeah. He did.
After that, we had Shayna versus Lyra.
Mm-hmm.
Valkyria.
Correct.
Yes.
Didn't have to say it.
You know, I like the team of Shayna, Zoe, and Sonya Deville together.
Yes.
Just from a booking standpoint, there's just not a lot going on here. They have matches. If they're in the position where they're going to lose, we get the run in DQ. They're feuding with people just to say we're better. I need more.
I saw this sentiment kind of made about the whole trios women's division thing that's going on. What are they fighting for?
Dominant force in the Raw Women's Division. That's what's laid out by commentary several times last night.
Right. But what is the symbol of that?
Usually, it's a championship title.
Right. Yes.
If you are champion, then you can lay claim to being the most dominant force on the Raw Women's Division. Nobody involved in any of these feuds is anywhere close at this juncture right now to being WWE Women's World Champion.
Now, maybe. DJE here points it out as well. Once you introduce a women's mid-card title, then you got, because then you got, Sonya Deville's group.
You're a step
Hold
closer.
on. Sonya Deville's group. You got Sonya Deville. Well, I was in the middle of the point. You got Sonya Deville, who could be going after it. And then you got the tag team. Once you've got that, you've got everybody's got a reason to fight for something.
I was going to bring the tag titles into it too, yeah.
Yeah.
Make that point as well. Then you're getting closer. Yes.
Mid-sentence, man. Come on.
But top prize, obviously. That's dominant force. Anyways. Yeah, it just, this is a situation where it's great that they're having more factions form, more people involved, more people getting TV time. I'm never going to argue against that. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But you need to give the story more than we're best. No, we're best. No, we think we're best. And
some they just want to make a statement.
Sorry. Sometimes attitude change, want to make a statement. Yes.
Yeah. The statement is usually we're the best.
Sometimes they call out the whole division,
Yeah. Yeah.
They're on notice.
Yeah, you stole it from me. They're on notice.
I just there's a lot of really talented people involved in all of these trios. And I want to see them get the TV time and get the matches on TV. Just tell good stories with them so there's a connection. That's the thing that's missing is you got this idea, no, we're the best. And you have these matches happen. The crowd's not invested because this is a feud, not a story. Give me stories.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And it's funny when you think about the prizes that the women do have, as a starting point. Liv Morgan's going to be wrapped up in this Rhea Ripley stuff. She's not going to.
It's like nobody involved in any of this is close to getting involved in the title scene anytime soon.
You look over on SmackDown, Money in the Bank and the women's world champion there, they're buddies, which is going to be an interesting story, but that's a lot of loot between just two people that could be spread out a little bit more. If for example, Chelsea Green, and I know they got issues, but Chelsea Green, Tiffany Stratton, and Piper Niven became a thing. Okay, well, then you got a faction with a thing, and that thing can be the basis of a story as we saw on Judgment Day before. But it's not. And it's going to be between Tiffany and Nia. I get that, but like, yeah, that's two people, not like a whole faction or a trio feuding with other people.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So, there was the attack on Dakota Kai because she was supposed to have a match against Sonya Deville. Io eventually filled in. And I guess maybe that was an attempt to make things a bit more personal as opposed to, hey, we're top faction in this division. But there needs to be more going on. There just needs to be more going on. There's so much other good stuff going on Raw and SmackDown to not see that same level of creative dedicated to the story in particular. It's just a bummer because there's a lot of really absolutely astronomically talented women involved in this, and I want to see them get the stories because when you tell a good story, it elevates whatever they're doing.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
I agree.
Come on,
Paul. You need stories, not feuds.
Stories. Exactly. Stories, not feuds. So anyway, Shayna Baszler took on Lyra Valkyria. Lyra hits Nightwing, Zoe and Shayna. Zoe and Sonya run in, break up the pin as a DQ. Then we have a fight that breaks out. Damage Control runs down to make the save. Damage Control clears house. And then they yell at Sonya. And then they all go back up the ramp. Sonya's team.
Yeah. The damage control stuff was really cool. Wait, was there like another damage? When did they do the elbow and the moonsault combo? Because that was awesome. Was that here? Or was that later? They didn't come out later.
That was later. That was probably during Io's match against.
During Io's match. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, that was awesome. That was great. But yeah, no, I don't disagree with anything. What are they fighting for? What are they doing?
It's the nebulous idea of that we're the best.
Yeah.
Give me something personal and concrete.
After that, we had a Final Testament video. TikTok. Just talking endlessly. less talk. Okay, how about that?
I don't know. I feel like Karrion Kross is him talking, and it is going to help. It can help get them over. It's just, again, it's a story thing, man.
I think you got to say something. He's been talking about the New Day for a very, very long time.
I know he has.
He's a good talker.
He's a good talker.
He's reading the phone book. Might as well just do that.
Like the progress of the story has just been so slow and not terribly consequential.
It's been happening since like Mania, right? Like post Mania.
Basically, right after Mania. Yeah. And it's been, a lot of the stuff has been subtle. And maybe now that Odyssey Jones has been introduced, maybe now we'll start seeing things kick up a notch here. But
I hope so.
I don't know.
So basically, his thesis is New Day is going to die tonight. After that, we've got the Creed Bros chatting with Ivy. Maxine walks up, asks Ivy for some space. Maxine asks Ivy, where you been the last few weeks? And talks about the Creeds. Ivy's like, my boys are just passionate. Gable walks up, not happy. Says, she has nothing of value. Find those clowns Otis and Tozawa and move along. You know what? Keep the name too. I have a new group. We're facing the Wyatt Sicks in the main event. We don't need you. So that leads to, harsh words.
Harsh words. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. CM Punk comes out.
Look in my eyes.
And so he comes out. He's all smiles after getting beat by Drew McIntyre. And he says, why am I so happy? Well, first, he shouts out a friend of his, Bilal Muhammad, winning the UFC welterweight title. And he says, I love when good things happen to good people. So why am I smiling? I lost. And he said, when I came here, I said I was going to do things. He said I was going to do things I didn't do. But here's the thing. I've been here at over 10 years, and sorry, it feeds the ego, but when 10,000 people scream my name at me, it makes me happy. Losing doesn't. SummerSlam wasn't a guarantee, ergo, Baltimore wasn't a guarantee. Says, imagine a lot of you love me because when I get knocked down, I get back up. But there's some in the company who hate me because I don't stay down. I say these things aren't a guarantee because I know it can be taken away from me. I was told 9 months ago I was told it'd take me 9 months to get back, and I'm proud of myself because I did it in 5. It says, Drew walks around here, 6'5", 265 pounds, tough son of a bitch. He hurt me and it happens. Like, he gloated. He put my name on his shirt. He told lies about me. So why am I happy that I lost to Drew? Because I'm back. SummerSlam was the start. I know the road to WrestleMania starts with the Rumble, but mine starts Saturday. I've been to the bottom before. Where would CM Punk be without the fans? And where would he be if he stayed down the last time? My summer of hate didn't start how I predicted, but it's still the summer. I say this packed house of beautiful people deserve less CM Punk talking and more CM Punk fighting. Round 2, I want Drew McIntyre. He said he would put me in the ground, but I'm still standing. No Drew McIntyre. Instead, we get Seth Rollins dressed as a cowboy.
Cowboy Seth.
It was great. I like the little subtle things we're referencing CM Punk's time in AEW. In this instance, I think it's great.
Taking shots.
Exactly.
Shots, Larson.
Exactly.
Let's just pause really quick here. He's happy. We're happy he came out unscathed. So
Exactly. No injuries.
Thing, right? Yeah.
You can have another match.
Straight to Hell in a Cell.
I know. Hey, Phil, take a couple months. Rest up because we're going to drop you in Hell in a Cell.
Right, bring it. Yeah, exactly. Even when he made chase on Drew McIntyre running through the crowd, I was like, oh God, he's running up steps. That's scary.
I know.
Anyway, so Seth comes down. He looks like sad cowboy.
Oh, he's pissed cowboy is what he is.
Yeah. Well, he's just sort of like, I don't know. He's got steamed face, but he doesn't have a head full of steam. You know what I mean?
No, it's simmering rage inside of him, yes.
There you go. And he pulls out a mic from his pocket. He takes off Cowboy's shirt. He says, you're in a good mood. So am I. After 10 long years, it's finally time for me to put... It was great, too, because when Punk heard Burn It Down, he audibly says, oh, God damn it. Yeah. Yeah. So Seth's like, he says, after 10 years, finally time for me to put you in the dirt. So Seth's about to come into the ring. Punk cuts him off. And he says, and Seth's like, let me get you in this ring. You want me to get in this ring or not? And Punk says, I'm not the one dressed as a cowboy, but I'll be your Huckleberry. Let's go. And then Drew McIntyre, smiling Drew McIntyre.
Just smug as all get out.
Up in the crowd says, guys, what's with the negativity? Tonight is a night of celebration. Everyone is talking about when Drew McIntyre beat CM Punk and Seth counted 1, 2, 3. He says, Punk, I think I deserved your attention. You shocked me. You brought the fight and proved you still got it. But no longer best in the world. I am. Come on, you got to stare. Are you guys? And Punk and Seth don't look at him at all. They're just staring, mad dogging each other with fists curled up. He says, come on, you guys going to stare lovingly in each other's eyes? You're going to look over here. I know how to get your attention. Guess who's in my corner? He's got the bracelet on. Your stupid looking dog and your lovely wife, AJ. So Punk then goes out and chases Drew. Bronson Reed appears out of nowhere and just absolutely annihilates Seth. 6 tsunamis when all was said and done. We had security out there, producers out there. Kenny Dykstra was out there, I think, Larson.
Yeah.
And then so they
Sean Daivari was out there.
Daivari was, I think Jason Jordan was probably out there.
Jason Jordan was out there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So anyways, long story short, Seth is absolutely annihilated.
Coughing up blood.
Tsunamis. Yeah, he's coughing up blood. That was crazy.
And then Bronson goes up for a 7th, and it gets to the point where there's like, all right, we got to pull Seth out of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Why they didn't think of that earlier, I don't know. But it took 6 tsunamis for someone to get the idea. So
Yep.
It was a really good way of getting tons of heat on Bronson Reed immediately.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we go to break, we come back, and Punk's backstage. He's just screaming. He's looking for Drew. And Adam Pearce comes up to him and says, I know what you want. You want Drew. It won't happen because I walked him out. He's gone. And Punk goes, I just want to talk to him.
I just want to talk to him.
He's making the choking motion with his hand. I just want to talk to him.
Yeah.
And Pearce is like, well, he's gone. He's not here.
Mm-hmm.
So we go to the ring. Final Testament gets the jobber entrance. They're in the ring already.
Yeah. Depth guys. So we get the New Day, and they're in their Ninja Turtles gear because they got those Ninja Turtle action figures. Those are really cool. So anyways, I wasn't like a huge Ninja Turtles guy. Were you when you were a kid?
Not really.
No? I wasn't
No.
I wasn't here. I was in England, and they were not a
Ah.
big deal
Oh,
over
it was
there.
massive here. Yeah.
It was huge over here. I meant like there was that chunk of the 80s, that great chunk from like 86 to like 89 or so. I was over in England. And so like I came back for the summer of 88 and like the California raisins were like a big deal. I was like, what's this all about? And the
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles eventually made their way to America, but I was like, or to England rather. But I was like, yeah, I don't know about these turtles here.
New Day get the win. So Woods rolls up Razor to get the W, and that's after Odyssey Jones makes an appearance, throws Cross into the apron, and then throws him over the barricade. And then afterwards, AOP attacks Woods. Odyssey comes in and hits them both with double side slams. It was crazy.
Yeah, that was very impressive. That was very impressive.
Because that's probably close to, probably more than 500 pounds of AOP that Odyssey Jones lifted up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It was pretty crazy. So then Cross gets in the ring. He eats a black hole slam. And then Kofi's super celebratory. He's celebrating with Odyssey. And Woods gets up and he's like, oh, all right, well.
He's like, okay, this happened.
Nice to meet you, Odyssey Jones.
Yeah. What do you think? Let me ask you something.
Sure.
Based on the limited amount of evidence we have, what do you think Woods' main issue is going to be here with Odyssey Jones? Why do you think he's so...
I don't think he's going to have an issue with Odyssey Jones. I think it's the lack of communication.
You think so? You didn't tell me?
Yeah, it's like Kofi is... I mean, what's Cross's thesis about the whole New Day thing is that Kofi is the one that has the spotlight on him. He's the one that keeps the spotlight on him.
I'll be honest with you,
Woods
man.
deserves the spotlight.
I'm thinking of this right now. I'm thinking about, Steve here. If you and I are just getting our asses handed to us, and that idiot Hilton shows up and lays out our attackers, and I didn't know about it, I'd be like, dude, Larson, good looking out. Good job. You saved our asses out there. That's how would you react if I brought in Magnum AD to help us out? And
I suppose at least in the short term that would be my attitude, yeah. And then be like, I wouldn't be upset about it. It's like, hey, when did you work this all out? You tell me, like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't have an issue with that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Be interesting to see what explanation they give for him being apprehensive about all this. If there is going to be like if he really is a proxy for the fans, that would be kind of the smart thing is like, dude, we had a third guy and he's still our third guy. And yeah, he can't go in the ring, but he's our third guy, like it or not, make it or break it.
Yeah.
We're not going to replace him with anybody. I wonder if that's going to be his motivation.
It could be.
I think that'd be much more, I don't know, real,
Yeah.
After that, we had this great video package with JD McDonough. And again, man, this dude telling no lies here. He says, my favorite thing about SummerSlam, he says, you, Priest, your gormless face watching the replay. And they show Priest's dumbfounded look when he was looking at the replay of Finn doing what he did.
Mm-hmm.
He says, you really didn't see that train coming down the track. You were blinded by it, and you're only champion as long as you were it because we allowed it. I sacrificed my body. And they're showing, they got the proof. They got all the receipts.
The B-roll. Yep.
They got the B-roll. He says, I sacrificed my body so you can stay on top. You never wanted me in your cool kids group because I'm the only one who will listen to Finn ahead of you. I'll get my revenge because I'm in the Judgment Day and you're out. I'm a WWE champion and you're not. Tonight, the Irish Ace is going to make you suffer. Oh, and he says this with everything he has. All rise for the Judgment Day. But instead of that match happening right now, we had, this is like one slow down of the night was A-Town Down versus Awesome Truth. Before we get to that match, though, we see the locker room. Odyssey Jones is in the locker room with Kofi and Woods. And Woods is like, I didn't know you guys were friends. And Kofi's like, I bumped him into the PC when I was rehabbing. And Jones says, Kofi said y'all need some help with the Final Testament. And then Alpha Academy walk in and they just do like this prolonged little dance bit.
Maybe that's the difference is, we were mentioning us getting attacked. One of us brings someone in. It's the mutual friend. It's people we know.
Okay, yeah.
if you brought somebody in that you were friendly with that I didn't know,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not I'd make a huge deal about it. I'd be like, okay, that's all right. Especially if there's already like someone trying to drive a wedge between us.
Okay, all right. No, that's a solid point right there. Solid point. You brought in some schmo. I'd be like, you're my best friend now. You just helped me out because I'll get my ass handed to me. But no, I see your point. I probably wouldn't be like that. Anyway.
Then we had A-Town Down versus Awesome Truth. Awesome Truth are a mess. Just a complete disaster. So A-Town Down Under get the win. Theory hits Miz, I believe, with A-Town Down. And Miz ain't happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
He helps. I guess maybe Truth took the finish. It's because Miz helps him up. And so they're talking a little bit. Thanks for the raid, Cultaholic. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much.
But Miz isn't happy. Awesome Truth ain't lasting much longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Seems pretty clear. So then we got a Damian Priest video. He says, JD, this beating is a long time coming. I never wanted you there. Nobody did except one guy. The same guy who betrayed me. It's crazy for someone with a skull that big, you have a brain that small, because you don't realize you've already been betrayed. Balor sent you to me to cast the first bullet because he thinks my clip will run out. I got enough for his ass too. It's like this, JD. I hope you confessed your sins yesterday because I'm sending your ass straight to hell.
Ooh, good promo. Good promo.
He's comfortable. He knows his character. And look what happens.
I know.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. So after that, we're backstage. Braun Breaker. Yeah.
Yeah.
With Kathy. She asked about the target on his back. He said, so I'm going to do this in Braun Breaker voice, but he just meanders through this thing. He said, I had a thought. You ever wonder how many guys talk about how long they hold titles in their careers? It's been 3 years since I debuted on WWE TV. I'm talking about from the beginning of NXT. Less than 3 years take me to become Intercontinental Champion. I'm like, dude, these days is kind of a long time.
Yeah.
You look back at some of the dudes from years past. Anyways, he says, I'm the hunt. I did like this thesis though. I don't have a target on my back. The entire locker room has a target on their back because I'm going to be hunting them. He says, what poor idiot would convince themselves they have the courage to take this? He says, people say I was born for this. No, this belt was born for me. He says, and he looks at the side plate. I love how enamored he is with the title.
Yeah.
He says, you see that? That's my name bolted onto this belt. There isn't a man on this planet who could take my name off this title. I like that. I thought it was really good. It just took him a little while to get there.
Yeah, yeah. Then we had JD versus Damian Priest. This match was tons of fun because they were beating the hell out of each other. They were working stiff. But that's what this match demanded is Damian Priest want to come in there and not just beat JD. He wanted to punish him.
Yeah, boy, this match was fun.
It was good. And JD's a heck of a seller, so he's bumping all over the place. So let's see here. Let's go from here. So Priest hits a broken arrow. JD rolls out and then pounces JD over the announce table. Priest hits another lariat. Carlito gets up on the apron. Priest kicks him off. Finn slides in and attacks Priest and lays in some shots. Carlito joins in. Judgment Day attacks Priest. And then Priest notices Finn, sits up. Judgment Day just attack Damian, so Damian wins by DQ. So Judgment Day is just beating him up. And then eventually Priest gets the upper hand. He backdrops JD out of the ring, sends Dom out, kicks Carlito down. It's just him and Finn. So he goes to grab Finn, looks for a razor's edge. Liv helps Finn escape from that. Dom comes in, attacks Priest. Rhea's music hits. She sprints to the ring.
Crowd absolutely go. I was like, oh my God, this crowd is loud right now.
Yeah. So then Liv and Dom gets a couple more stomps in on Priest. They leave through the timekeeper area, but Rhea catches Liv, throws her in the ring post a couple times, clears off the announce table. She's going to go for a razor's edge on Liv through the announce table. Dom makes the save for Liv. JD ends up in the ring between Priest and Rhea. And so Rhea hits him with a headbutt, and Priest delivers one of the most devastating looking choke slams I've ever seen.
That was nuts.
It was a hell of a bump from JD. And the reaction that Priest and Rhea got was off the charts.
Off the charts,
Off
dude.
the charts.
Yeah, boy, talk about how to make absolute stars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just expert execution.
Yep. So they stand
Excellence
tall.
of execution.
Crowd just eating it up. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So we're backstage. Sonya's group attacks Damage Control, specifically Dakota Kai. And she was scheduled for a match against her. Sonya looks at Dakota and goes, "No match tonight." She makes her way to the ring. She grabs a mic, says, "I don't think we'll be seeing Dakota tonight. Isn't that so sad? I think she's a little under the weather." Well, Damage Control music hits. Io and Kyrie make their way to the ring. Io's taken Dakota Kai's place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then she gets the win with a moonsault.
She does, yeah. Yeah, that was good stuff. Yeah, it was during this one, so towards the finish here. Io blocks DeVille's advocate. Io and Kyrie head up, and Kyrie hits an insane elbow, and then Io hits a moonsault. It was great. After that, we had, the crowd was really into it because it was a fun finish of the match. But yeah, there needs to be a point to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Afterwards, we had Sad Sammy. Ilya's trying to hype him up because he lost his title. And Sammy's like, Ilya, I know one day you'll be a really great champion. And Ilya's like, okay. And he walks off. Big smile on his face. Very genuine. And then Jay Yeet comes in.
Yeet.
He says, don't worry about it. You'll be right back. He says, pick yourself up, Oos. Happy to go lucky. And he's like, man, I don't know, Jay. Just something about this is different. I'm like, yeah, because you lost in 6 minutes, sucker. And then Jay's like, nah, man, you're going to get the rematch. You're going to get the title back. And then on top of that, we're going to handle Judgment Day. You're going to be double champ, Oos. And then Sammy's like, yay, yeet. And then they do the.
Well, he's like, yeah, you got me. I already talked to Adam Pearce. I already got my rematch. He was like trying to play a joke on Jay. And then it was yeet.
Yeet.
So anyways, the commentary gives an update on Seth. He's getting the CT scan, MRI, endoscopy. Make sure his insides are okay. Yeah.
The doctors fear internal bleeding.
When you're coughing up blood, you want to make sure your insides are fine. And then we got a Joe Gacy video. No talking really from Joe here.
What did he say at the end? Because he yelled something. It was
so garbled, I couldn't really tell.
It was a bunch of Uncle Howdy talking. They thought they could control you. They locked you away, but I saw through their lies. Open your heart to the man in the woods. And then it ends, and then he goes,
it was nothing. It was nothing.
Nothing? Wasn't, as Garrick says it as nothing. Okay, maybe it was nothing.
Maybe.
All right.
So then we got Gable with the Creeds. They're walking backstage in advance of the main event. He says, "You targeted me for weeks. Think I'm an easy target since my pathetic other family left me high and dry. I got a new family, and we're sending you back to whatever freak show swamp you crawled out of. You've never seen anything like us. We are American made, American made, American made, American made." Let's change their theme to that.
We're coming to American made.
Oh. Yeah.
I know you love some Neil Diamond, don't you?
I love me some Neil Diamond, man.
Oh, man. Anyways, American made.
American made, American made.
And then we have American Made versus the Wyatt Sicks. This was just wildly fun, man. And everybody, it just felt so cathartic, especially for poor Rowan. This guy lost both of his besties and wasn't even in the company. And now look at him in the main event, helping Loomis and Gacy get the win here over American Made. And
petition to change the American Made theme song to that.
Petition approved. Let's do it.
There we go. Let's do it.
And then at the end, they all pose with the lantern in the middle, and then Bo says, "We're here," and then the show goes off the air. Yeah, you could delete that. Jerry's Money in the Bank cash in. It's off. Not happening. Not happening. False alarm.
Maybe some point down the line.
Yeah. Kyle Maricini here has become a member now for 16 months. Friendo Club member says, "Cheers to the best wrestling community /podcast. You can also get a Friendo Club setup not only by clicking join here at YouTube Or you can go to patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Click on the Friendo Club setup there. Gets you access to the same things. Talking about the Big Blue Predictions Challenge. What's the next? We got Berlin.
Next we got the triple pay-per-view thing. Bang bang bang. We got All In on 25th of August.
Yeah.
Following weekend is Bash at Berlin, and the weekend after that is All Out.
All Out.
So that'll probably be the next combo predictions challenges, all three of them, for 3 weeks.
That's a big one.
Of course, we got the G challenge. We're 11 shows into, I think there's, 20 or something like that? 21? Yeah. There's a bunch of shows for the G1, so we're more than halfway through that. That's ongoing. If you win that, similar to Money in the Bank, you get a cash-in opportunity whenever you want.
That is correct. Yeah, man. Absolutely. So let's go ahead and...
Oh, first, I want to reiterate this, in case people have popped in since we said it last. We got 293 likes, which is great, but we have 960 people watching right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Big show.
We're trying to get 1,000 likes. So if everybody here is watching, hits that like button, we'll get that much closer. And here's the thing. Likes, comments, engagement on these videos help drive the channel and the video through the YouTube algorithm. I can't say I understand it.
No.
I don't get it. I'm not a bright individual.
No.
But I do know that likes and comments help.
Yeah.
So please hit that like button. Comment. Doesn't have to be anything huge.
Right.
Does it?
But you can't change the font size, I don't think, anyways. Listen, to reiterate, let's recap.
Gosh,
Steve, petty. Larson, petty. Both of us, horribly competitive. Also, we're old. Are we becoming out of fashion? Has our time passed? Is this No Country for Old Men in front of you?
Fair
we hope
question.
not.
But
we
fair
can,
question.
We can hold off Father Time a little bit longer if you guys hit that thumbs up.
Help.
We need your help.
I'm too old to get a job at Starbucks, okay?
Look, man, I looked on Chartable yesterday because I noticed our friend Jason Solomon, a.k.a. Solomonster, ranked number 10 in Chartable, okay?
That's great news.
We were number 15.
We would be higher than
5 back.
Yeah.
I want to be at least number 9, you know? I see a couple, just a very few other wrestling podcasts on YouTube doing better numbers than us. I don't like that. Bothers me. Really bugs me. I'm petty. Want to do better than that. You can help. You can help. All right?
In the most immediate ways.
Comment,
and hit that like button.
Exactly.
Super
Hey,
easy.
listen. This is huge news. We buried the lead here. We changed the name of the podcast already.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say that, all I mean is we just simply modified the name on YouTube to take out a wild sexual innuendo. All right. Now it's just Steven Larson. No longer are we known as Steven Larson's WWE and AEW Pro Wrestling Going In Raw podcast. We took the Going In Raw out.
Too long anyways.
I was like, take it all out. It's just Steven Larson. So,
yeah,
that happened. Maybe that'll help as well, but you guys can help as well.
Exactly.
Again,
more immediate
Steve,
help, direct
petty.
help.
Larson, petty.
Like button.
Old.
Comment.
Trying
Definitely
to stave
old.
off irrelevancy.
Yes, all that.
We had a super chat from Power Rangers Explained. $2 says Xavier versus Kofi at Mania. No. They can't break up.
No,
we don't want a heel turn.
No.
John Ozzie says, yeah, you're the CM Punks of Wrestling podcast. Absolutely. We're like CM Punk on Backstage.
Yeah.
All right. We were epic back in the day, but look, we're looking to become epic again.
We are indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Kamari Best says, if Seth versus Roman, the final chapter happens at a WrestleMania with Seth being bad guy, Roman being good guy, who goes over? Roman goes over.
Yeah.
Roman wins.
Yeah, Roman wins.
He's gotta come to peace with that betrayal.
Yep.
Sycophant says need to change the logo too. No. We're still the Going In Raw podcast. We're just not gonna put it on the YouTube title thing where you enter it in there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Probably won't make a damn bit of difference. Whatever. Just wanted to simplify things.
Yeah. Streamlines. Efficiency. That's what we're about.
Like I see, look, I get on my YouTube app on my television, and I see like, oh, cool, Simon Miller has a new show or has a new episode, right? I love Simon Miller, and all it says right there, it just says Simon Miller. Then you get on Steven Larson, it's like Steven Larson, blah, 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 blah. It's like,
it's too long. It's too long.
It's just us, dude. It's just us.
Too long. Jorge here has a comment here on the Twitch. Says, is it wrong to believe that Finn is justified in his actions? He is correct that Priest did treat the Judgment Day like garbage and made himself the de facto leader. cost Finn a lot of title matches too. No, you're not wrong to believe that. Finn is justified in thinking how he does.
Yes.
And that's what makes it an intriguing story.
That's right.
All the parties involved feel they're completely and totally justified.
That's why it's good.
And that's why it's good.
That's why it's
no one's being bad just to be bad.
Right.
They all have their reasons and motivations.
Mm-hmm.
And you can understand those reasons and motivations.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're just a little bit sinister when they say those things, you know.
Yeah.
They just sound a little sinister. Let's see here. I'm just trying to do something says, could the Judgment Day be the WWE's version of Bullet Club, meaning that has revolving members, changing leaderships?
Well, I think both Judgment Day and Bloodline can. And it seems to be that's kind of what they're setting up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Luis here says, what's been your favorite Judgment Day moments? A couple that come to mind are when Dom finally turned on Ray and Finn on the mat laughing and pointing at them. That was
when they concertoed Beth Phoenix in front of Edge after he already quit.
Yeah.
He had already quit. Oh, that was rough.
Yeah.
Boy, that was rough. But also, like, I don't know. So much of even just recently when Liv was stretching out Dom and they all poked their heads, and that was sort of like the apex of their chemistry. And honestly, dude, isn't that the best time to pull the trigger? Is when everything is perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Jupiter Vision here asks, what is your favorite version of Judgment Day?
Sorry, when Dom and Rhea invaded Ray's house for Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was good.
Sorry, go ahead.
So no Edge iterations of Judgment Day. So we have Finn, Dom, Liv, Carlito, and JD, current.
Okay.
Finn, JD, Damian, Rhea, and Dom.
Okay.
Finn, Damian, Rhea, R-Truth, and Dom Mysterio.
Okay, so it's too early to talk about like the new one.
Yeah.
My favorite is what it was. Boy. Boy, that's a tough one because I love Carlito, but Carlito and Rhea didn't really cross over.
Not a ton, no.
R-Truth was awesome, of course, but also they seemed kind of directionless then. And like Priest was like a good guy one week, a bad guy the next week. Yeah. It was kind of directionless. Probably, boy, that's a tough one.
You know, my favorite version is probably when they're all champions. I mean, Priest, yeah, he was champ. He was tag champ when Finn and Priest.
Yeah, he was Money in the Bank guy and tag champ. Yeah,
Rhea was champ. Dom was North American champ.
Yeah.
Dom
great. Is North American champ. You're absolutely right. That was good. Let's see.
Let's see here. Creamy beef tips.
Yes.
If you could write a good storyline for Karrion Kross, what would you write?
Oh, wow. He's got to... The thing is, like, you got to... AOP win the tag title somehow. He wins... You got to do something of substance with them, and they need to take on somebody of substance. Like, I love the New Day, but it's like they're already kind of depleted because Big E's not there, and it just hasn't been that interesting.
You know, I wonder if they ever approach Cross's creative from a vantage point of presenting him as the pretty charismatic individual he actually is, rather than trying to do this mystique thing,
sinister thing. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, if he just came to the ring and dropped the promo as more or less himself, turned up a little bit, as opposed to, I mean, his entrance is great. Entrance has always been great, but you know, just kind of strip things down to like the essentials in terms of presentation, and just present him as like a more relatable, interesting human being, as opposed to, you know, like some sinister mastermind plotting the downfall of everybody he loses to, you know?
You know what we need? And it's as simple as this. This is what we kind of need with them. Number one, they do need to be doing something more substantial. But give us some backstage vignettes a la the Bloodline, the old Bloodline, and
Yeah,
Judgment Day. Give
The
us
dynamic between everybody, yeah.
Give us a Final Testament clubhouse. Have them move into the Judgment Day's clubhouse. They're probably just going to keep the clubhouse.
Yeah, they got their own clubhouse. They're going to keep that.
But give them a clubhouse. I want to see AOP talk to Paul Ellering about travel plans.
Yeah.
It's probably hilarious. You know, because he's like calling the airlines. You don't do that anymore.
No, you don't do it all online, Paul Ellering.
You got to do it all online.
You don't have to make phone calls anymore.
Get Expedia. What's that?
Alex Foster says, who would be the worst GM for Raw if Pierce was on vacation? Steve or Larson?
Who would be the what?
Worst GM if one of us filled in for Adam Pierce.
So I don't know if you would try your damnedest to provide more structure. Whereas I am so much more willing to just go with the chaos. And I think that's why I would probably fare better. You would lose your mind. I don't know if you'd get anything done in the process. I think you'd be much better at SmackDown than I would be.
Yeah, I could fill in for Nick Aldis pretty seamlessly, I feel like.
Yeah, but Raw is just a mess. I'm kind of a mess. So I feel like it would just fit perfectly. But yeah, dude, at some point are we going to see Scarlett and Cross actually act like normal people? Because they're probably infinitely charismatic. We've seen it on social media. We've seen it in person. We were there at Starcast.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, have them be human. You know, when Jey Uso pops over the idea of Waffle House, that's endearing.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. What roadside restaurant does Scarlett like? Does she like Waffle House? Does she like Wawa? Does she like...
Who knows?
You know?
These are questions that I would be it'd be good to have answered.
They'd be so over.
Yeah. Kyle here asks, if you two did a podcast for another sport alongside your wrestling podcast, what sport would it be and what would you name it? So Jupiter Vision has the sport. It's basketball.
Okay, but let me just hold on a second. We need to start a Big Three podcast.
That'd be amazing. It'd probably help if we watched the product at a full-time basis first, though.
Well, I dipped my toes into the Olympic Big Three.
Yeah, but that's not. We're not talking ISO Joe, you know.
That game is a mess. I'm kind of curious how they approach it in Big Three. Everybody's got an NBA one, man. I want the future. The future is 3-on-3.
3-on-3, exactly. Frozen Tape here says, could WWE do Cody versus Roman 3 at the Rumble? If so, how does the final boss play into this? Well, it depends who the final boss is facing at WrestleMania, I suppose. If the final boss is going to face Roman, then Rock costs Roman the match. If the final boss wants to face Cody, which I don't know why, but if Cody wins, it'd probably just be straight up one-on-one, no interference. Roman wins, it's probably because The Rock's like, I want to face Roman at WrestleMania. That's the match that I was deprived of, the people were deprived of.
I feel like they need... So Rock's got to get a win somewhere. Well, he got to win the first one, I guess, huh?
Yeah, he won the tag match. He got the pin on Cody in the tag match.
So I feel like the second one he should win and the third one he loses. I feel like Rock versus Cody, Rock wins that. And then the third one you do Rock Roman. Because that's the big one. You know, that's what everybody talks. Oh, that's the big one. You do that for your headliner of WrestleMania 42. But what are the stakes? I don't know if Roman would even want to be champion again. You know what I mean? Like, that reign was everything.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So, like, I don't know, Rock beats... What about this?
There's the people's title, Steve.
No, I know. Because, like, one of the weird rumors was, like, Rock was going to beat Roman and then vacate the title, and he's got his people's championship, and that symbolizes that he's the man, right?
Yeah.
So what if you still do that, except he beats Cody? And I don't know, if Rock is the real leader of the Temu bloodline, he gives the title to Solo. And you got to spend the rest of this time really building up Solo to be this desperate piece of like he just lost to Cody. You saw him sit like a child sitting on the ground crying or like screaming bloody murder. And so you just get all this heat on Solo. Rock gifts Solo the title. So he's this pretender walking around, right?
Yeah, which fits with this character anyways.
Right. And then from there, I don't know where you get to Roman versus Rock, but you go to Roman versus Rock.
Payday here says, if Roman only had a couple of years left wrestling, meaning 2 SummerSlams, 2 Mania matches, what are the 4 matches that have to be done before he's gone? Obviously, him versus Rock has to be done. He has to have another match with Seth.
And Solo.
So there's 3.
There's 3. And then War Games, Good Bloodline, Bad Bloodline.
There you go.
Here we go. Chestnut says, other than Finn letting that thigh meat out, what wrestler should change their gear?
I'm so used to Finn wearing pants now. If he goes back to the trunks, it's going to be an adjustment.
Yeah. Who should change gear?
I don't know. I
don't know. I'm visualizing a bunch of wrestlers with like pants instead of trunks and vice versa. None of it works. Like Rollins putting the meat. What about Rollins putting the thigh meat out?
I mean, he hasn't done that since NXT.
Yeah, he looked pretty cool though. He looked good with it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Rollins thigh meat.
All right, Seth Rollins. You want Seth Rollins thigh meat?
Yeah.
Who else wears pants? What about Damian Priest thigh meat?
I don't know about that. I hate to do this. Remind me when we're off, and I have a hilarious answer for this. But there's no way I could say it on camera.
All right.
It is. I'm gonna send you something. You're gonna laugh your ass off.
All right.
Sorry to do that to everybody.
I heard Homer says Roman. Give me some. See Roman in some trunks.
Oh, I'd be down with that.
Heck yeah.
I'd be down with some tribal meat. Tribal thighs. Oh, Snowman says this is a minor thing, but I wish they changed Judgment Day colors for the new group. Oof.
Yeah, I could see that.
What color would they change? It'd be instead of black and purple, it'd be black and what?
Can't do red. That's Bloodline.
What's the opposite of purple? Yellow.
Yellow. Let me see here. Mr. Coffee says, who should Damian and Rhea recruit to their own Judgment Day to even the odds? I don't necessarily think they should form like a full-on faction with more people. I think Terror Twins standing on their own is great. But if there's going to be like a 8-person tag match, does that work out? Yeah. I mean, Jey Uso and Sami Zayn make all the sense.
Okay.
Short term, because they're going after those tag titles.
Tag titles, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Maggie says hot pink. That'd be great.
Oh, yeah.
Any highlighter color.
Yeah.
We'll end on this one. Jonathan Vieira says, what inning is the Judgment Day storyline currently in?
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, if Solo has his run at top of Bad Bloodline and he fails to procure the championship, I would guess that Jacob Fatu's next in line. It's good to hear that apparently the spot at SummerSlam was planned, him selling the leg. I know he was walking around in a walking boot afterwards. There's pictures of that, but hopefully that's just him, selling it kayfabe out in public.
Jonathan Vieira's question was, what inning is the Judgment
I'm
Day?
working through this.
Oh, okay.
Because my thought is, if it's the possibility that Jacob Fatu's next in line to lead Bloodline, I know Heyman said a while back, 3rd inning. We're obviously progressed past that, but it kind of feels like it's going to extra innings. I feel like we're maybe the 5th inning, but it's one of those games that can go on, through the night into the early morning at this point.
No, the question was the Judgment Day.
Oh, Judgment Day. Sorry, I thought it was Bloodline. Whoops.
I thought when you yelled at me, I thought, oh, he's making parallels. Solo took over, so Finn would.
first thing I heard when I heard the inning. It was the
No, I
bloodline
know.
thing.
It's
Again, we're old.
That's all good. It's all good.
Fourth. We'll say the fourth inning.
That sounds right. That sounds right. That sounds right. Yeah. Anyways, all right. That's going to do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Tomorrow we'll be back with another episode. And until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.
Goodbye.